Dear Mike.
Do bicycle racks, like, I don't even think we have them at the library, do we
We
have them out there?
We have,
Is that part of our, is it under our aegis or is that another
well,
committee?
it's,
Because we could just easily suggest, put them here, put them there, and,
Yeah.
and even bigger ones if we went with e-bikes.
so it's mentioned actually in the, so we do have planned bicycle paths, obviously in the plan, right? And they're on our maps and everything. And there is talk about safety of bicycle traffic and all that kind of stuff and how it can help the communities. And they do talk about a little bit of that, but it just depends. Like the Parks Department has that as under there at the township properties. I think what we would be talking about in the context of this would be making the recommendations that commercial properties, as you mentioned, that are being developed, include those in their plan, just like we're making the recommendation for sidewalks. It's all about safe travel. We don't talk specifically about pedestrians. It's all about connectivity and alternative means of transportation being pedestrian and bicycle. So I think, at least personally, I think that's easily, covered.
Well, the other thing
I
you're
think
gonna,
there's, go ahead.
the other thing is put the onus on the corporate
Yeah.
people within the township. So, I mean, I would say most people, including Acme and some of your larger chains like Chipotle and stuff. I mean, these are, or even like the people that own those properties, like ESG is like a huge thing right now in corporations.
Yeah.
And that's part of ESG is reducing the number of, motor vehicle traffic, et cetera. So that's something that goes a long way. I mean, regardless if they personally believe it or not, that's something that goes towards the valuability of their ESG policies that they have as part of their corporate.
PR.
Yeah.
Below cost. At a very low cost. Yeah, it's not as onerous as some of the other things that we've talked about with like hundreds of feet of sidewalk or something like that from the cost perspective. Yeah, no, I agree. Does that answer the question?
So I would say two things. One is if it is related to where you think a bike rack should be within a township trail, I think absolutely it falls under the purview of this committee.
Trailheads and stuff.
Trailheads, things like that. And I think you recommend those, and then George and the staff will work towards, looking at what that feasibility is and that, and then we look at it for budget purposes. When you think about whether you want corporations to be doing it as part of their projects, I think that actually is going to require a change to our land development and or zoning process. And so there, I think would be a recommendation that you would make back to the board for those areas. If you want it, the thing with sidewalks is it's in our ordinance that says you need to put sidewalks in. It's not just a one, it's actually, we have a requirement. And so it can be waived, but the whole idea would be that if you want it to be a part of something and you really think it's something that makes a difference, then we should make it a part of our ordinances so that it's required. And then it takes it away from, yes, you can speak to it in land development, but if it's not there and required, the developer doesn't have to do it.
Well, then that can come from the recommendations that we'll do with the subcommittee as we just kind of fill in the blanks on this, and that should just be something that we recommend up. So that's great. Anything else, Terry?
Are kids allowed to ride bikes to school and leave them outside school all day? They used to be at Culbertson, but I don't know that they're allowed to do that now.
I think that's up to the school, and I have no idea what the school has done with that.
That's a school decision, you think? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they don't even let, you have to, there's a lot of rules for getting on and off a bus anymore. They used to be able to just walk home. Now they can't just walk home.
I'm assuming they need like parental, like written consent or something, and there probably is a minimum age limit, like a minimum age to see that they're responsible at that age.
Let me just say that I
Okay.
don't think the township wants to get into that decision. We have a school district that can take care of that, and we would leave that up to the school district.
Okay. Fair enough.